Thank you. I thought it was going to be full of people. Well, I thought I was running
I guess Ben, he's already been over here. Bless his heart.
But I gotta set it up for whoever's virtually watching, if they're doing that, I guess.
I think they are.
That helped so much last year.
I really wish we could do this outside. It's wouldn't it be nice just to sit out?
We have to get the blow guy quick, but other than that, it is gorgeous. We go get our sunglasses.
Yeah. Well, and
People wouldn't hear.
well, that's
People wouldn't hear. We're old.
that's right.
Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you.
Came back to this part of the world?
Yeah.
Y'all been back for a while?
Been here all summer.
Oh, have you? Okay.
We're heading back to Florida Monday.
Oh, no.
How you guys?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
We haven't been here as much. Wendy,
I was gonna say we hadn't seen y'all in forever.
well, Wendy and Seth were living in our downstairs, my daughter, and they moved to Nashville.
I wondered if they were still here. I hadn't seen them in a while.
Yeah. I kind of got used to them being close enough to just come up and then, you know. So, and Jim's got Parkinson's and it's gotten more progressive, so that's why I'm sitting here. So if he gets out, it used to just be muscles and balance, but now it's cognitive too. So I don't often come here by myself with him, you know, so. Well, Wendy and the kids and her in-laws were supposed to all be in this weekend, they're all sick. But when she called, I was like, I have already packed the car. I am going to have coffee on my porch. You know. That's right.
Two sheets. I don't know if you need them or not.
I tried to get Jim to come, but this, when he takes his morning medicines, it knocks him out.
That plug-in to me stinks. You try that plug-in? It's just too strong to me.
Oh, I know, I don't like sitting, but see, I should brought some cough drops, just so I don't think.
I wonder if anybody knows if I unplugged it.
Oops. Yeah, some of those,
I just think that's too much.
yeah, some of those are just strong.
The girls at work have got where they put them all over the office, and I feel like I'm like,
Well, in different scents, like this in the Napa, that's real faint. And, you know,
anyway.
here they come. Hello, here they come. They come running.
Hello, good morning, everybody. All right. Can I sit here?
Absolutely.
I'll let you sign that sheet, if you don't mind.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Brought some water. Hey, y'all.
Okay,
Good.
okay, we're here.
Yeah. Morning. How you guys? Water.
Water.
Yeah.
We're gonna make more chairs. Wait to get them out if we need them.
Is that for everybody?
Yep.
I was
Good
like,
morning. See you
I was
today. Where you
yeah, I was
been?
gonna carry one over here, but then by the time I had my
Hey,
papers.
having a
Good, all right?
Yes, sir, Eddie, how you doing, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can.
I don't have my laptop. I have my board at home, but I can write.
Well, and I
Oh,
don't.
water there, if y'all want it.
How are you?
Yeah, good to see you.
It's so pretty.
We are.
Oh my gosh.
Tennessee, football, the 11 have to go before lunch. You know, we play.
So she's like.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's all. We have kind of scoped out, now we know what you're like to do.
I know.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Rusty, how's it all
Yes,
going?
and how are you, sir?
We're gonna say we got a place right on the White Creek.
How's all the building stuff going on at your place?
Well, it's just slow.
No, it's not construction.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
It takes a little while, everybody's.
It took me 2 years to replace a power line that broke out.
Right, well, we're going on two right now with three,
I was like,
5 pieces
hey,
here.
we had kids
We're
living
going
on
on
the place.
2 years.
We're not here that much,
Yeah.
Good morning.
you know, Wendy and Steph, we have the 2 units from Wendy and Steph.
You better hear.
Yeah, just moved to Nashville. But we just haven't been here, you know, it's a.
Yeah.
It's just now getting. So. I can hear.
How they doing?
That's why I'm sitting here, so I can.
Oh,
But he was gonna come, but. He'll be 75. So that is not, yeah. Well, and this is, you know, knowing what all his father went through, I'm almost convinced that Parkinson's and was just never diagnosed.
So they have a good turnout in the whole game?
Text message, kind of stuff. On good days, everything's good, but on rough days, everything's rough. Yeah.
I know, right?
Attention to going to the.
I appreciate it. I'm coming.
Last night.
Upstairs. No, I don't think so. We always had good nights. We had little boys living there last time. I loved it, you know.
That sounds like fun. Well, it sounds like a headache too, though.
Yeah, and
I just love it, man.
I have filters in mine that were good when they were doing the shut off. Yeah, it's getting cut off. They do yours.
All right, man.
I had to get Jeff to go get it. I couldn't, we were, last time we were.
Anybody need an agenda?
But, when one, usually I would just go to Lowe's and get them, and I couldn't find them. So I asked Jeff if he could make filters. So he's got some. So,
Nice to meet you. My wife, we got.
because I can't reach
We got a few
without
things.
family.
Yep, we're enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, mine's about like that tall. It has that spring filter. But,
Anybody need a blank copy of the
oh,
order?
I have one of these. Here, then you can say that. I just printed them off before I came. I like to study before I come to these.
Hey, buddy. Hey, lady. How are you?
That's
right.
I keep up with you with the grandbaby.
Oh, great.
Is that a great grandmother?
Last year's.
Yes.
One last month. And,
She is.
well, I've got one over, she's. We'll see the face, get videos. She can make a funniest face. She's only 6 months old. She's already pulling up in her crib. I had to lower it completely.
Oh, man.
And she ain't this
Oh,
long,
man.
she's real short. So, I know. Very important, they're the best little parents. To be, both of them been spoiled.
I know, well, I moved here for a couple of years, I miss pulling up and not hearing.
That's the only reason I stay in place.
For real.
Hey, I like your shirt. I know, it's only orange like.
I know, I know. Yeah.
I found this yesterday.
Okay.
Everything.
Here's one that got sent.
And our kids do
And
that.
it's the same thing every year. We walked through that, because I wanted to do some improvements on mine. And I would walk through there and I went, I didn't know you could do that much pretty stuff. I mean, they
Stumbled on this one.
We've got to get.
I think she'll like this one. I got it down here, she said,
The worst thing though is I can see on here.
And I wrote my notes and I was like, Jim, if we do this after we leave more.
yeah.
I might have a policy on the floor, yeah, is I really want to do that. We have a year from 3. And we had more than 7 weeks out there. I finally put some rocks out there. I love that way.
When we started. And I bet they didn't keep it 2 years. No,
We actually come, we don't have a boat anymore, so that, that's been hard on John. He has cars,
I'm not.
A couple of years ago, I was like,
What?
see how, well, once we got a certain distance, he was confused on how to get back and what to do. So, because he would want to go out by himself. So we're not here much in the summer. We love it with all these.
Two hours away.
Oh, yeah. It's a great job. When we first moved out here, a lot of us were Dinsley's used to be next to us. I think we've had diverse people around us. Yeah, yeah.
Y'all, I guess this may be our crowd. If y'all are ready, we'll get started. Everybody sign the sheet, just the attendance sheet here, and I don't know. We might just quickly, we've got one new former, new and former owner here, a couple. I'm Rusty Robinson. I think I met everyone in here. We're in A3. I'll let you go around.
A for Beasley, we're in A5.
And I'm Ben Shepherd, we're in, Unit T4.
I'm Eddie Burks, and I'm in, A2, A4, and B5.
Sounds like a bingo game all of a sudden.
I'm Jerry Shepherd, part of it and Jerry, and, we're in, D4.
Yes.
I'm Amy Tate Massey, and we're in N2.
Mary Ann Hurst, C3.
Clint Hunts, E2.
Paul Mohead, H1 and H3.
I'm Jimmy Cooper. We sold to the Hearst family a few years ago. And we just recently purchased H5.
I knew you were looking for an email, but I don't know that I've ever done that.
Natalie Burks Patterson, and I'm in B5, and sometimes A4 and sometimes A2.
Well, let's, we have 3 new owners this year. The Coopers, of course, the most recent. In H5, of course, where they are, in B3, Jessica Milraney. Milraney. Bought B3 from actually from Eddie last fall. And then Randy and Rhonda Morgan are in Q2, are new owners here. Everyone was emailed copies of the 2021 minutes. Hope maybe you took a chance to kind of glance through them. If there's any discussion on them, we haven't at this time. If not, we can get a motion to approve the 2021 meeting minutes. That's where we're at.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Mohead. All right, all in favor? Please say aye. Okay. None opposed. Next thing on the agenda would be the board position. Every, these 3-year terms, is that right? 3 or 5? 5. They're 5-year terms. Board positions are 5-year terms. We have it set up where someone is up for election every year. Basically this year, it's Patty Kelly, who she just joined the board, last, fall. She took,
Yeah,
mainly for Wiley, and so she's, and I can tell she'll be very, of course, I don't think we have anyone else running for the board, but Patty's already, shows to be very helpful and very, be very good at the bookkeeping side of this thing too, to make sure we do things right too, I think. But, if we could get a nomination, for her reelection, we'll do that. Ms. Mohead, is there a second for Patty Kelly being reelected for a 5-year term on the board?
Second.
Second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's, Patty will be hooked up for 5 years here. It came up in the, meeting, we just kind of pointed refresher ourselves a little bit on the lock situation about the property. And the reason that's on the agenda is just to be sure that everybody's on the same page as to what would happen if say, your lock got totally damaged, where it had to be replaced. The lock would be each individual homeowner's expense. If you needed a lock repair or replacement, you just need to contact, buy a work order for maintenance, let Jeff know whatever we could get it seen about. So far, we haven't had any issues of any being replaced, but we need to handle the replacement so we can get the master key into the hard key, get the key like that so we can get in for a pest stop and things that are necessary, just emergency situations. If there are any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer them or try. That next item, repair of tennis courts, that's something that needs to be, probably given more thought than we're probably gonna take time with the kickoff at 11 o'clock. But it's very important, and I think the community's wanted something done on the tennis courts for quite some time. Since they've been here, they've been resurfaced one time. The problem with the courts is there's, I forget how many 1,000 feet of cracks we got in, but it's well over 1,000 feet. The tipping point for people to repair and kind of fix that do this for a living, that they'll put their reputation out there and say, yeah, I fixed that court, and I'm not, I'm proud of it. We well exceeded that. The person I reached out to first was who was doing basically all the commercial courts, all for the municipalities around West Tennessee. He's out of Milan, can't recall his name right now. Came down here and he looked at it. Basically, we were like going to trade cars, and the car salesman said, "You won't make it home if you don't trade right now." Yeah. He wasn't pushy, but he just said he wouldn't touch it. To fix it, in his mind, it's a $200,000+ endeavor, and go back with concrete. But anyway, his synopsis was that you couldn't do whatever anybody told you they could do to that blacktop, that it would not last. And I believe that, and I agree with that. But Buchanan Resort owns, of course, one court, condos on one court. We really want to do something, but we wouldn't be able to be on board for anything like that. So the next alternative is to go with what he said wouldn't work, and to go to getting a surface put on it, get it painted, and just do the best we can. I think we've got a possibility there. It's locally with TRW Asphalt. It's come out and looked at it. To get specific, I really can't because I'm going from memory. But basically, what they would do is take out the center fence, take out one end to get some equipment in there. We're going to put some filler in all the cracks. Then we go back in on top of it with a real fine mixture of asphalt, really, really fine stuff. And they felt like that would hold up and last better. And then, of course, paint it and seal it. You're looking at a possibly $60,000 project there. When we redid them years ago, we spent, I don't know, 8 or 9. It's been 10, 15 years ago. I wasn't thinking I don't want to spend that much money, but we got to do something with it at some point.
It's asphalt now, right?
It is asphalt, and it's just, I just don't know how much. There's a question about if the association, if the mood of this community wants to participate to the level of $30,000 or not. It's kind of a question. I'm probably ready to do it for the resort point of view. I want to know more about it. I want to ask you more questions, but they're looking at this. TRW knows that there's towns all over West Tennessee that got these asphalt tennis courts. They're just getting abandoned. They can't do anything with them. It's a real business potential for them. So I think they would go a long way to try to make it as good as they could, because I think they could get, they're looking at opportunity around. There's some training, I think he told me out of Nashville that he would be going to and learning, how to rescue these old courts without just tearing them down. Only other thing I heard over the years was somebody suggested turning it into a dog park. But that's, it's a great amenity, and everybody, pickleball's been around
That's
for
what I
years, but
was
everybody's
saying.
wanting to play
They
pickleball.
want to, you could do one of them for pickleball, and one of them for.
Or
Yeah.
put up a basketball, put up one of those goals on the fence
Right.
that is up off the ground so nobody can dunk on it.
Right.
And have one of those, because, my kids do go down there and play basketball at times, and they go play tennis at times. I wouldn't mind having something like that as well, just to make it multifunctional.
It needs a good bit of thought, and but it needs fixing. It just does. We got to get in behind that, take out every pine tree that's on the backside of it. It's the worst thing he's ever done is went in there and planted pine trees, and all the sap's getting on the cord. So we got to get in there and take some trees out. Some of that stuff I can handle and do, and do it pretty cost effective. But if we get into You know, it could be that we need a tree service, I don't know, we'll look at that. I don't have all the answers, but I don't think we can do this short of 50,000-60,000 range at the, you know, kind of bare minimum, so, I don't know without, if there's any more questions.
If they repaired it like they're talking, instead of tear it all up, would those existing cracks not crack again and cause it to crack again, or can they put some kind of membrane over it?
Well, they're gonna, he's got, you know, they're gonna do all they know how to do. But is it gonna crack again? I'd say, yeah.
I thought the beauty of asphalt is that you could
Yeah,
put more asphalt.
right. Well, getting in there, you have, and in this case too, they're gonna, once they prepare it and then go over the top of it, they're gonna have to go in, they'll have to shorten the fence. There's a lot of little things, you know, we gotta raise the fence up, they would do all these little aggravating things that people that build this stuff for a living are not gonna fool with. You get a new fence or you don't get our service kind of thing. You know, they're all the way to, they didn't mention the lights, but I'm sure they thought they weren't adequate either. But you can make up to 4 pickleball courts in one tennis court area. I don't think four is pretty crowded. 3 is probably a good idea. I'm not so sure that you might not do 3 on 1. This is just an idea I've had. 3 on 1, tennis on another, have lines put on the other for portable pickleball nets, so you can do 2 more on the other court, and they would just be over in the corner. You just pull the nets out quick. But if the guy that builds tennis courts said nobody plays tennis, forget tennis. Don't even strike it for tennis. That's the $250,000 man. He said that's how unpopular tennis is at the moment with what people are doing. So basketball, I understand. The only problem we've ever had with basketball is a lot of times it draws a lot more kids in and it gets a little rowdy. Dan can probably attest to that. And that's the worst thing, yeah.
Could you put for the condos, could you put a coat on it?
Yeah. You could do it. It'd be possible. That's another situation. My code gate at the dock's not doing too well right now, so. We don't want to waste a lot of time there right now.
In
Or
our
out
house,
of these locks.
Yeah.
you know, in our house, we don't have room for a basketball court, but here we like to, but
Right.
every time we bring out a basketball or we put if we have used one of those down there, by the time we get back to using it again, it's broken.
Yeah,
So,
right.
I do understand that.
Right, but that's just the only little
Yeah.
side things. We thought about putting the court over by the resort campground.
Mhm.
I haven't, just because I know the basketball games just turn into kind of, the boys get rowdy, they really do.
It's kind of an attractive
Yeah, it's
nuisance.
just, yeah.
Attractive nuisance.
Right, but that being said, is there anything else any other questions about that? I mean, I
I
haven't
have
had
a
a chance
friend,
to really share this with the board until just now either, so.
a friend in Martin, and he was the longtime tennis coach at UTM.
Uh-huh.
And I know he himself and his children went out many times and did some filling and different things.
Right.
And I'd be happy to have him look, see if he had some ideas.
I wish you could, yes, that'd be really, really good, because we need to, look into it a little bit further. It's a lot of money. I wasn't thinking it would be anywhere near,
Yeah.
that much money. But I was also thinking we just take the surface we got, they do some leveler in there, and I think he's talking about cleaning cracks, 2 rounds of leveler, and I don't know about membrane, but anyway, and then go on top of it with that fine
Did
mix.
he give like an estimate of like how he thinks that might last?
I don't think that he could really, I don't know.
Because if it's a 5-year fix or a 10-year fix or 20-year would be great.
Yeah.
20 years would be nice,
Mhm.
but
Part of what the key will be, I think, is as it develops problems, is getting on it quickly and keeping on top of it. And also the fact if we get the trees pulled out, keep the courts cleaner. And you really need, and it won't happen, they need to be dried. We got that, I guess there's a roller still out there, but you're supposed to push the water off of them every time it rains. And, that's almost impossible. So many things like that happen, but we can take better care of them, it'll help. I don't think they'll crack quickly, but gosh, I don't know, I'm wasting time probably even talking right this second.
Rusty, if you ever put that sealer on anything here, I wonder what that would cost if you resealed it like every 3 or 4 years
Yeah.
to keep it. Because that keeps some of the water out of it.
I guess the paint itself is the sealing part
No, I
of
mean, even on asphalt, and down in there, we
Oh,
see it like parking lots.
that. Right.
And that keeps the cracks.
It'll keep it, yeah, the aggregate from getting
Keeps-
out. you know.
Well, it keeps the water from getting down in there and freezing and breaking it open. I don't know what that would cost if we redid it and then resealed it every few years to keep it.
We definitely need more information, and I'll
Stretch the
we're
life.
trying to get more information about it, and them being in the asphalt business, I mean, they're putting their company's reputation out there, willing to risk it. That says something to me, when I told him, I said, the guy said this won't work, I just told him all the negative stuff I'd already been told, and he's well aware that if they do this and it's a flop, it's gonna be a black eye on them, certainly something that they would go above and do. But,
Jim used to work for Ford Construction in Dyersburg years and years ago. I could talk to John and see what what kind of estimate they would give on something, because they do stuff like that all the time.
right. Well,
So I think the board is kind of looking to y'all for input on whether to budget for something that we haven't budgeted for this coming year. But if we do it this coming year, we'll have to pay for it out of our reserves, which means next year we're gonna have to replenish the reserves. And that means, probably a higher maintenance fee until we get that paid back in there.
Well, you're out big, you gotta pay off. Very good.
What happens if we don't do it? It just,
Stay like it is.
I'm just trying to think of the downsides, just waiting.
Maybe you get.
What's
It's probably about as bad as it's gonna get.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be any cheaper, and it's already there, we gotta do something with it.
Yeah.
Either look at,
And
just
the
get
minimum
rid of
thing-
it, which is gonna be a cost anyway.
the minimum thing would probably just to get the cracks filled, get the asphalt people to come out and fill the cracks and not surface it. That wouldn't cost too much, but they're not gonna give us any kind of guarantee for just a patch like that.
We looked at putting in a quarter of a quart, the size of that in our backyard, and it was $10,000, so the estimate is not bad.
sounds,
It's a very good estimate on that amount of space. And that was 3 years ago before COVID hit, and before everything skyrocketed.
Is asphalt, I'm sure it's driven by oil prices, right? Price of,
yeah, it'll vary, depending on what's going on with the material, but I don't think the materials, of course, the paint will too, but paint's outrageous anymore. And I don't think that'll help much even. I don't think we can expect it to be much less. It might be more,
Well, I would certainly lean to the repair and not the replace.
Right. Yeah, it's just, as far as the resort's opinion is, it's impossible to replace. We could never do that.
Once they repaired it, they can probably maintain it a little bit better, and it wouldn't be such,
Yeah, I think.
we could pay to keep it maintained after that.
You could try in 10 years out of it, sure.
I think so. I think you could, I'm just guessing, but I think you get, 15 years, I would hope, take good care of it, maybe more. Might have to redo to a minor extent at that time, or something back like we did the last time. But as far as putting material back on the ground, I doubt that this is probably the only time that will ever happen. If it gets that bad again, I don't know.
Well, you can
Everybody's
also,
gonna be kind of sore.
by then you would also see how much people use it.
Right,
Well, it's only used on the weekend. I've never seen anybody in there
yeah. We've got
playing
people,
anything during the week, because it's just a bunch of old people live here.
It's a great place for toddlers to ride bikes.
Yeah.
That's what
Is that what they-
Because then we're in a contained space, so, you know, they'd be on the little carts in there.
One of the things that we think about too, is we look at next year on what we've got coming at us, what we're facing. And actually, this next year, we don't have any big items that are on the docket right now. In other words, we don't have a roof to put on next year. You know, we're probably 3, 4, 5 years down the road on that. And, so if we decided we wanted to do it, probably next year is not a bad year to do it in. I think we would be in a better position to handle it with minimal impact to the condo owners than we would other years. We've had years where we've had 2 or 3 roofs to put on, and it's been tough. But the other point that I'll make is, you know, you probably got 80, 90% of the expense or cost of having that type of asset here is there. And it just seems like it's a waste not to go ahead and keep it up and rehabilitate it and make it useful so that those folks that want to enjoy that can do that. And that's, to me, that's one of the amenities that we have here at this development. And it's something I think that we need to really look at seriously and about taking care of it.
For a special project like that, do you ever consider, like a special assessment instead of increasing fees? Because I just hate to see fees continually increase if you ever want to sell your unit.
The assessments are something we avoid at all costs, just because it doesn't look good on the record of the association. If you can have, you know, if you can just prove that you haven't had assessments, typically a project like this is not what drives your rates up. It's day-to-day maintenance that's done it. And we managed to get through this coming budget, you'll see, without a rate increase this year. And our rate increases have always been minimal. But, you know, to pay for a project like that, you almost have to dip back into the reserves. It seems like to me, to avoid what you're saying, but a small reserve fund is not comforting to people either when they look at your, you know, the size of operation we got roughly 50, I think, I don't know what we at 40.
50-something.
Right, we put in $11,000 in reserve so far this year, increased it from last year. And we will have money in Pierce left over in this year's operational fund. So we're feeding that account. So it's not, you know, we can, you know, it wouldn't just deplete it.
I'll kind of give you just a real quick thumbnail on how we approach the budget and the reserve. The reserve is basically there for capital projects. And this is where we're actually investing in a capital project. But operational maintenance expenses are what your budget's for. If we have a capital item and there is money left in that designated line item of the budget, we go to that line item of the budget and pull funds to help fund that particular capital project. Of course, if we end up at the end of the year with money left over, and that actually goes to the reserve fund. But then any shortfall that we have, we go to the reserve fund and pull it. And then the idea is that in subsequent years that we're going to make back up what we need to in the reserve fund. And sometimes it doesn't always work that way. But so far, we've been fortunate that it's worked pretty good. I don't think we have what we need to have in the reserve fund. I'd like to see us have at least $100,000 in our reserve fund. And I hope that at some point we can get there and you know, that's our goal, to move in that direction. But, at the same time, we need to be prudent and do the things that we need to do to, make sure we're taking care of the assets that are here. And, you know, that's why people buy a unit up here, because of the amenities and, you know, they come up here to have fun and enjoy themselves and relax and to do things like that. So, it's important that we pay attention to that.
Well, it's either gotta be fixed or it's gonna turn into an eyesore.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, that's the two choices.
Well, if somebody falls or hurts themselves out there, then it's a liability too, so.
Can we vote to give the board the right to gather a few more ideas and then move forward and make the decision for us?
I don't think, really, it seems like there's a good bit of interest right here from this group, and I know from several people that aren't here that they're very interested in it. And I've got customers that are interested in it. Shoot, I bought a set of paddles, I never even played, I'm ready to play.
We'll put it in the form of a motion
Yeah.
that we make a motion to repair
Yeah,
tennis court after more investigation.
maybe look into what the repair, because I just think the other's out of the question. We all feel that way, I think, so. But I do think there's people actually playing over there right now with tape on it. Kind of the Kings go play some and all. And we've been asked this for years, y'all. Been asked for pickleball stripes for a long time. And and I don't know what the mood of how you do it or whatever, but I'm gonna find out more myself, and hopefully you can find out some more for us. And we'll just put the information together and see what we come up with.
Do we need a motion and vote on it, or?
Well, my biggest question got answered when Dad was talking about the scope of projects for next year, that we don't have big expenditures on the docket. So I think that's what I was curious of in perspective of the big picture, like how it financially would fall.
I can see us coming into a good bit of money this fall that will go to reserve, that could come right back out and be pushed into there, and then take some out of next year's budget and operation, and we might not ever really feel it, you know.
When you have a weather window with that
It's
kind
just,
of work.
yeah, it's gonna be, the payments are gonna be over some time too, if we could, but, I think the association has got the money to do it. It's just if but if only 20% of the people want to do it, then, but two don't.
And it's a lot cheaper if the resort's doing it right now. If you try to get somebody to come out and do this part later, and the resort's not doing it, it will be more,
Yeah,
a lot more.
it's kind of an all or nothing thing. We couldn't go into it. It'd probably cost, if it costs 60 to do it, it'd probably cost 40 to do one of them.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, it's
so
gonna go up a lot
it's
just
not,
to do
it's
that.
not gonna, so. I don't know that we need a motion particularly. It just sounds like we need more information to me.
I think it would be good.
Can you have a motion to move forward?
Yeah,
Or is this group in favor?
we trust the board. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. It's-
But we take our guidance from our homeowners. Okay?
Well, and then when you have other homeowners that say, why are y'all doing this?
Yeah.
You've been waiting to vote. That's
No,
true.
that's-
If you don't like it, then you should have been there.
Well, I think we've had adequate discussion on it as well.
Okay.
Full steam ahead on
Let's get someone to put a motion up for more information.
I think she
I
started.
the.
apologize.
I got a second from her to roll in online.
Okay, is all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, we'll move.
I have one question. This is a concrete person you're talking to, right?
No, this is asphalt.
Asphalt,
This is
okay.
asphalt.
Never mind.
Yeah, it would have to.
If they're gonna learn on us for all their future business, they ought to knock us off.
Yeah, that's right.
We've already kind of pointed that out, because it is something that, and I think that's probably, hopefully.
They could
that-
bring their customers by.
It's too handy, it's too handy for them, where it's really here. It's a good place, for them to send people to see what you've done, because I'm sure have plenty of before pictures, you know.
Well, there's some cold water up here, then might have some.
I do think, to Amy's point, whatever the resort decides, I think it's important the association follows suit. Well, we do it together, like we were pointing out.
Well, we won't push anything ever like that, but by the same token, if y'all had $250,000 in your budget over here and want to put the buildings in, I'd be squealing saying, I can't do it, y'all.
We can't.
Right, we can, right.
Well, they can go up, that's why we, got another house in Sebring, in Florida, because Sebring was going up to $1,000 a month for us for HOA fees. And we said, no, that's ridiculous.
Well, that's what we don't want. We don't want
Right.
big increases, you know, that's not a, you know.
It's not
we
a
know
good
that's
selling
hard.
point if you're selling your,
Just for time to look at the, building representatives report. And, do y'all want to go through this building by building? You want to just let questions be brought out? If for direct information, some of this, how do y'all handle this?
It's just a good question.
Yeah,
Thank you for the water line.
well, it's been a long time coming, you're welcome, what he's referring to, is we did replace seven, I think, 6 or 7 hydrants on the, west side of the property. We've still got some on this side that got to be done. They just took that area first, and we're trying to get the water hydrant situation, caught up, basically.
What about this concrete on building 8, the crack over here by the pine tree?
Well,
The tree gonna cause a problem.
yeah, that's a bad,
yeah, it got so much worse. I had somebody down here looking at it last fall. They said, yeah, we'll do it. We'll fix this other stuff down here. Of course, they never did it. It's so hard to get a concrete person. But, anyway, it's a good thing they didn't. And after they left, and I got looking at it more, it's just, the whole thing's a mess now. The gazebo's cleaning. And, it's really, I mean, this is really right in your face right there, Clint, you know, for y'all. And, the only way to ever fix it right is to probably lift the gazebo off of the slab, move it to the side, build a new pad, or relocate the pad. If you build a new pad, you need to get rid of the trees. You get rid of the trees, I'd suggest you get rid of these 3 or 4 gum trees right here right now, beside it too, and that's gonna cost about $6,000 extra roughly to get rid of the trees. A lot of people love the big pine trees, you know, they're neat, they're not, you know, you just don't have those just everywhere. But we can't fix that site without getting rid of the trees, or we gotta relocate the concrete pad, which would have to move back more in front of you. I've stood in front of your bedroom window from the outside, took pictures to see what it was gonna do, but we'd have to find a new location, relocate that, and then pour back to it. And we could leave the trees. Still think you ought to get rid of gum trees. But,
Could you reroute the sidewalk or golf cart?
Yeah, we-
Route it up toward the condo?
we could turn, we could deal with a sidewalk, probably just couldn't, you know, you just can't fix the gazebo short of doing something with the trees. Even leveling it, falling would just be temporary.
So the trees moving.
The trees are picking it up and fast. I mean, the last year and a half, it's just amazing how much worse it's gotten.
If you move it out towards the water,
You need to move it, need to keep it up here on the hill, really on this side of the existing sidewalk. It would need to just shift back this way off center of the building, you know, far enough to get away from those trees.
Or the other option is to move it down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
well, but that's not our property, is it?
No, anything on this side of the sidewalk is.
Oh, I see,
Move it
yeah.
down, but then it would be in front of E1 rather than E2, but it would be a little lower.
It would be, it'd be a little lower. You could probably get it down in that corner. I just don't know the overall, it's gonna change, anything we do is gonna change the way things look over here, but it's gotta be.
And they fix that are dangerous.
Because to leave it, our options are to leave it where it is, those 2 pine trees would have to come out.
Yeah.
And we'd still have to level it. We still, no matter what we do, it's leaning so much, we probably have to pick up the structure, move it over, build a new pad and put the structure back on it.
Have
We
you
think
got
we
a
can
cone
move
you
it
can
on
put down there?
Man, check it out.
A cone that you could put down there to remind people? Because the people that come here on the weekends, some of them, this all the time they come. And they may not know it, because it is really
It's bad.
Is there
bad.
any space at the end of the building to put the pad instead of in front of the building?
You know, just saying,
Really not, I don't think.
I don't know.
How close is the D gazebo to that? I mean, I know they're kind of spaced out. Strategic.
You know, move away.
I hate to lose those trees, I think are beautiful.
Yeah. I know.
We'll see.
If you took out the gum trees.
Please don't. Not in front of ours, it's the only shade
No,
we
these-
get.
These right here.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant
No,
down
one's
there.
about the size.
I know Jeff wants to take them out,
I don't know.
we don't get any
I don't know
shade in
if
that.
we're- I don't know if we're getting on resort property, to put it.
Well, these, I'll never argue about you got the gum tree, ever. I'm taking the two big ones down before I open next spring over here by my cabin. They're huge, they're like this big around, make such a mess. But, my goal is to kind of get them out of my way. But these are just bad because they're a hazard, those gumballs on the sidewalk over here is what I was thinking. If you are gonna do trees, you can probably get them for not a whole lot more and get rid of the problem, just to clean up the problem. And they're not pretty. I mean, there's nothing about them that adds to it. Now, the pine trees are a different story. I don't wanna say that I don't appreciate those. That's why we tried to save them. I've spent a lot of money just trying to save trees ever since I've lived here, and it's always backfired.
I like those gum trees out and landscape that whole area, because it's not gonna hold grass. And, do something pretty right there.
Yeah, it would, yeah, if you had, well, if we got rid of those, we could grow.
I wouldn't mind doing it, if they could do it, because it's right there by me.
Well, I don't know what I'm asking, I'm kind of,
So, there's a guy in Sykes that, I don't know if it worked or not, but he can do something to those to get him to quit putting on the gumballs.
oh, really?
I thought it worked.
Well,
What?
no.
No, I'm serious.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
That's what he does for a living.
He fixes the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, they neuter the trees. So if it's just a gumball, I don't know, there might be a tree.
I wonder if it works on ginkgo trees.
I used
So
I used to save them when we lived on our farm and made wreaths out of them, they were beautiful.
Could you expand the pad on the D and just make it bigger and move the canopy over there? Would that be sufficient for E and D if you just
That's what I was
And
wondering.
do it away
What if you just
with-
took it out and maybe added on to the D
just
gazebo?
bring
How
back the
far is
concrete
that?
sidewalk and move the whole, would that
we're
work?
gonna take a field trip, go down there and look around.
Yeah. Wait, we don't have to be carrying a bucket of chicken.
Well, I was thinking whoever's on the bottom floor of D is more view blocked. That might not be pleasant.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought about, it's just, who's it gonna change? I mean, you bought it this way, and then all of a sudden, somebody parked a U-Haul in front of it, or something. I don't want you to feel like that, yeah. It's gonna cost a good bit of money, as you all can imagine, to do this too, but we're gonna have to do this, we've got to.
So that's how on the list.
I don't think, yeah, it's would have already been something done there, we've probably gone directly to, reach out to the people in your building and ask what y'all want.
That's a good idea.
But it's, we can tear that out and put it right back where it is and cut all those roots out of there, but it's probably 20 years from now, we're probably gonna look at the same problem again if you don't take the trees out. You can cut pine roots, golly, Bill, I've dug around pine trees, big pine trees like this before, and they'll just keep on going. I mean, you can cut the roots out of there. And I've done some that I knew would be dead by the next year, and they didn't. Almost dug all the way around them. So they would probably survive a massive digging right there, but go to digging much right there, we might find something else we don't want. So we don't need to get, we don't need to tear up the world anymore than we have to. But the gazebo's got all the stuff around, all the rocks around it, there's a lot to tearing it out, putting it back, a lot of expense.
Be looking at that for a while. That'll be your view for a while.
Well,
We gotta go scope it out.
could we get, Clint, could you kind of talk to the people in your building about what y'all might want for us?
I sure will, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't realize I was gonna get that
It's a
involved.
big, when you get out, look at it later and just stand back to the side and look at it. It sits like this right now. It's already cocked up on one side.
For some reason, that's been used a lot more this year than it ever has.
Yeah. Right.
It's,
Well, we need to know where that gazebo needs to be. If it needs to be right where it is, then we gotta decide what to do.
Rusty, I suggest in the meantime, get Jeff to paint
The sidewalk,
a red stripe on that, sidewalk.
yeah, with some caution
As a
yellow. or
caution.
something. Yeah. I may have some yellow, possibly some yellow paint where we have to bang a little fancy speed bumps with. And
Yeah, just something to catch people's eyes so they don't stumble over it.
Right.
Or bounce themselves out of the golf cart and over too
then-
fast.
Oh, it was jar your teeth.
Tired of spilling your drink on your
Oh, I'll slow down.
Okay. Let's, if we could, if there's no other discussion on that right now, is there more on this report that you want some direct?
Just the building, the parking lot for H, is that
Building
the main
H.
address?
It's another big concrete item, I mean, about all you can probably.
Well, that's what I was,
Yeah.
my thinking was, is if you're having to do concrete over here,
Mhm.
it might be cheaper to get them done together,
Right.
work it into the bid.
We'll certainly,
That might be a
if we can
solution.
ever get a commitment out of somebody to do that work, then that's what we'll need to look at that too, because that's been on our list for years.
Mhm.
Yes.
The doors and the end.
Mhm.
I have a handyman, that I could get to put in my doors that has done a lot of work at our house. I know that affects the whole association, so, I mean, that door is rotting. It's rotting at the bottom. I'm gonna have water come in this year. I really need to do this before winter.
Right.
I know that it was voted on and done before we bought the house. And when we bought the house, the association had already paid for it, which was wonderful, and I'm not complaining about that at all. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying, I don't mind paying to have it put in, if I could get it in, because my concern is I don't want it rotting on the inside.
Sure.
I don't want water damage.
Do you know if Jeff has any idea about?
He talked to Sean, he's gonna be back up here in about a week, I think, Eddie, and then he's
Hopefully
got,
here this next week.
he's got a week's worth of work over there at Eddie.
Mhm.
And then he's gonna start
Okay.
on a building, but then still, I don't know,
Mhm. Is your, who,
I have Rocky Rock, and he just put us in carports and did some basement work for us, and he's in construction. And I can check with him, if you need somebody certified by Pella, I actually know the person who does the certifications and can put them in.
right, we just need somebody to do it, if we could get in, if they're gonna come, if you had someone that could do those two doors right there would be a big help.
Okay,
They definitely need to have some experience.
we've had 2 or 3 people, I know of 2 for sure, it's just,
I have,
one guy kept putting us off and putting us
yes,
off
I
and putting
have
us off,
3
and then he's,
contractors on my list that I use regularly.
Right,
But I use One of them just finished a big project in our house, and then, I have two others that maybe I could get help out of, but I mean, if it was a situation with Pella, I also know the person who's in charge of putting in windows for Pella.
Okay.
So I can make
And
some
who is that now?
It's through the Pella company, not through the Pella store.
Okay.
His name is Mylon, but I mean, but I can call him if I need to, because he did a lot of our work.
I'm sure that Marshall and Robin would be very happy to have theirs done too. So if we could get those, because these big windows are kind of different projects. So if we could get somebody to do y'all's, we can maybe get that over with. Just let me know.
I'm gonna tell you that I just got a window replaced from Pella, and it took me 2 years to get it. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. We got a product going on 2 years sitting on the ground. It's what's there in a
We just
leader.
need it again.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I can get somebody to put it in as long as it doesn't void a warranty that y'all want.
No, just as long as they understand,
Yeah.
and that when they get into that part of the building, they've got to kind of look for other problems that need to be corrected when we're right there at it. So, and we'll keep Jeff. Jeff needs to be communicating with who this is if he's willing to do it. And that way we got Jeff watching and helping and being sure that it gets put back like it needs to be.
Okay, so
So
I will
just let me know.
contact and see if they'll come out and look at it and give me a bid, and I'll go ahead and get it done.
Okay.
And let y'all know, and we'll talk to the Russells about it, if they want.
Oh, they did.
They do?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's they want it done, just,
But I'll contact them about if they're gonna come out and do it.
right,
Yeah.
sure.
But
Yeah.
I have 3 people, because I told Philip last week, I was like, we gotta get this done.
Okay, well, thank you. That'll be a big help.
Rusty, you mentioned concrete work. Do you remember Bob McDaniel that did our shutter replacements throughout? I think he does concrete work. I may be
He's in
wrong.
Maine, he left for Maine and he hasn't been back.
Okay.
I mean, he's probably coming back, but I don't know. He's originally from there and has been there. And I know he's been there practically all summer.
Okay.
Cause he was supposed to do that window project in A building 2 years ago.
Okay.
I have, people coming to do some concrete work supposedly, and that's my hope. I don't even know who they are, I haven't met them yet, but I've got concrete work that's got to be done real soon. So I'm hoping maybe that's our lead. The last concrete work I had done, that was the same way. And then everybody's building houses, they don't have time to mess with little small jobs, but it's all right.
Well, these rates going up, that might slow down.
It will, I'm sure. Anything else on that building representative's report?
There are just inquiries about Jeff under Building C that I need to give some answers to some people in my building.
Okay. I've spoken to Jeff about the painting, he's aware of that, and as far as,
Jeff's truck is owned by him personally, that was on here.
Do what?
Jeff's vehicle, somebody asked, did the condo association own it? But it's his, that's his personal truck.
He can turn in mileage and we reimburse him, but half the time we don't even do it because he's going to town for something else and he'll pick up stuff for us and we charge mileage.
I think the big thing is a contingency plan. I mean, if something happened to Jeff, we got any kind of plan?
well, that's why we're,
Training Justin.
bringing Justin, trying to fill in. There's gonna be a shift as Jeff ages, obviously, there's gonna be a shift of his abilities to be able to work here. Hopefully Justin's,
You seeing that?
I'm seeing that he can do a lot of things more than you realize. He's a very quiet person, but to say he's got Jeff's skills, no. I mean, Jeff could go in and replace a hole in the wallpaper and you would never know he was there. They see he's a tough person to replace. And everybody has their ways about him, like him or not, but he is a very valued person here. When he totally can't do his job, I don't know. We'll address that when it happens.
How
To,
was it?
to say I've got a contingency plan, I run that whole place over there without one, hardly. He's about 60, 61, maybe, I think. I'm 60, I think he's older than me a little.
Y'all are just youngsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but didn't he have a lot of health problems last year with
Yeah,
his heart?
he got real sick, like last fall, about the meeting time was really bad. And that's really the time that Justin kind of stepped up. He got scared, everybody's this day and time, somebody gets pretty sick, you usually be pretty scared. And it woke him up a lot. He grew up a lot. He went ahead and did some things rather than just, before it was kind of like he'd wait till Jeff told him to do this and do that. And then now he's doing things on his own. He's just gonna take some time. He's really young, he's just 33, I think. No, he's 30. Justin's 30. He's very young. And
He can maintain the basic stuff,
He can, yeah.
the things that have to be done every day.
Yeah.
We would probably have to either
he could,
sub it out to
right, he
somebody
can
else.
take, yeah,
He
he
can
can,
take care of the day-to-day running.
he can take the routine. You just lose your little specialty things that Jeff can do on the side for you, or we'd sub out all this painting that needs doing here and there. So
And he'll gain a lot of that with experience.
he'll get better. Yeah, he'll be able to do a lot of
He's
it.
really come, if y'all haven't talked to him in a while, he's really come out of his shell and.
Yeah, he does. He waves at you now.
Yeah.
He sees you.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Well, he sees you when you're walking or something.
you have to.
He just never did that before.
He didn't feel real comfortable for a long time, you can tell.
Well, he felt like that Jeff could do so much that he couldn't
Yeah.
keep up with it.
But I will say, from working with him personally, you show him how to do something one time, he can do it.
Yeah.
He's learned.
He's
a
just so
lot.
quiet that he gives you the impression that he needs direction on every little thing. But he
Well,
really
him and
does.
Jeff are opposites.
He learns.
Jeff's always like to talk.
Yeah, but I think we're very fortunate to have.
Well,
both of
somebody
us.
in here said that, they wanted the pool painted.
Yeah,
Is that something, I thought we'd already done that.
well, no, we've been trying to get Jeff painted it a few years back when he, can't remember how long ago it's been, but it's always been a little striped because of where the paint lapped on it, so he's never been as proud of it as he would like to have been, but, it was getting time to paint it again, and the timing's right now. It's dry as it's been, so we're gonna go ahead with it. We're gonna dump water out, and he's got paint.
He's waiting on paint to come in.
Waiting on paint.
Oh, so you'd rather paint it than put a liner in it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be easier for them to maintain, and then we wouldn't have to worry
Oh, okay.
about liner problems and all. I never really looked into a liner on it, honestly.
I don't know how much they cost, I just know a lot of people have them.
Totally different.
Yeah, it's a different kind of company.
Yeah.
Rip out some big metal bars and a lot of stuff.
You like the painting better?
They'll,
That's what we have. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a different.
I mean, at your home.
Here.
Yeah, I know here. But you have a pool, don't you, at
You
home?
can't put a liner in this pool.
Oh, you can. It's probably not.
all right, hopefully the pool will be painted, and then we'll put it up for the year. The cover's getting old, that's my cover, maybe the next year. Just so you know,
Never ending.
How often is each building washed?
once a year.
When do they do it?
Shouldn't be starting any time.
Do y'all ever wash the rental building out there?
Well, we have a guy that says he's got a portable tank there.
Oh, really?
He might can do that.
Did some painting on the dumpster area.
Yeah, they freshen that up.
Yeah, for those of you that are fairly new, we used to wash the buildings twice a year, but it just got to be too expensive, and we would wash them in the spring. The spiders got on there.
It was
Right after
awful.
that, you couldn't even tell you did it. So we decided it just wasn't worth expensive, done it twice, so we're waiting till the spiders kind of disappear and then give it a good washing in the fall. And that seems to work better without being ridiculous on expense. Because it's still costing, what, $8,000 a year or something?
Yeah, it's 8, and actually the 8,000 for last year got paid out of this year's budget because it didn't bill us till January. So just, if anything looks wonky about that, that's what it is. They did work, they didn't send us a bill till then, so. But I expect them anytime to start cleaning. Is there anything else on the seed list? Anyone else got anything on the ongoing repair list?
You said something about fixing the gate,
Uh,
the lock to the.
right, yeah.
I think we didn't want to talk about that.
I'm just saying, it's being addressed.
Yeah, right.
It's in play.
Back to the question about Jeff, there was a question about whether he had a list of things that he's supposed to do and that kind of thing. And there is a written list, but Jeff's been doing it so long, it's just in his head, you know.
Well, is that a concern? I mean, let's just say something happened to him today. Would Justin need kind of a written list?
There is we do have a written job
Yeah,
description.
it's in the file in the office, and, you know, we can give that to him.
There's a list, there's some stuff in there, and you'd probably be shocked at how kind of picky it was. It was from raking the water line on the beach every morning and doing a lot of little detailed things that my mother-in-law created years ago. Of course, we don't follow it nowadays, but it would be, you know, it could be looked at, you know, from y'all's perspective, look at that and determine what would be important for every day to be done, and if there's something not being done on it.
As a person that's not here full-time, I appreciate everything they do because it's wonderful to just walk into your condo and not worry about the maintenance of it.
Right.
Rusty, on the roof on that mold, is that a problem that needs to be, or is it okay to leave it?
It's,
Just the trees are so damp over there.
yeah, it's just a, you know, it's a kind of a mildew stain. I know you can wash shingles, it's possible to do. But I don't think unless we've actually got green mold that's building up and lifting shingles, that we've got anything that has to be done.
You know, hurt the life of it.
It, not that I know of, yeah. And they're all just, when you get to looking around here, they've all the buildings, depending on the direction they are, they've got some discoloration. The east sides of them, I think it's the east that stays, well, I don't know, anyway, they've all got kind
We
of.
tend to get the mold on the
Yeah.
north side.
Yeah, that northeast facing,
It's north.
it's almost always got discoloration, almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it, you know, you can put a strong bleach solution, just spray it with bleaching water and it'll come off there, but you gotta cover up the plants because it can kill the shrubs and it's a lot of work.
Okay. In case somebody asks me,
Yeah.
as a representative, I'll be able to answer it. Right.
There you go.
Right, I believe it's okay, I think it's okay this time.
We're just happy to have water.
The other, next thing on that list was Miss Morgan in Q1 had requested the possibility of a carport for her, because she's living here full time in the winter. And I don't know if anyone would like to speak on that. The board, basically, as much as we'd like to accommodate her, doesn't feel like that. The parking garages have come up over the years. When the project was new, it was something that, you know, somebody said, well, if this is the only place this place likes is carports, you know. But it's something that has to be community-wide done, you know, to do something on an individual basis is where we have gotten to with that. But I certainly appreciate her being here in the winter. You know, I've always had to park outside. I'm kind of looking forward to having a garage one of these days too. But I know she would like it.
I think you could get 1,000 different colors and types and it would look like a mess.
Yeah.
That could be uniform and not good at all.
Yeah, there could be a lot of work put into it in the proposal at some point, and that would be an assessment type thing, but that could be something else, you know, if you, like years ago, we had to issue a pass gate, whether or not, and we took everybody's temperature on that, and kind of find out that the majority was not in favor of it. And you may find that the majority wouldn't mind spending the X number of dollars on covered parking, but I don't think that's in our
You mean like
realm.
in front of your condo?
It would just be where your parking
Where your
place is,
parking
yeah.
covered.
So it would just be a total change of
Yeah.
aesthetic, you know?
The problem would be we would lose all views of the lake.
Right,
And I mean, that's, you know,
okay,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's against the bylaws to do it right now.
yeah.
It would require a change in the bylaws and, and two, if you just did it one place, wouldn't look good unless you did it more uniform throughout.
Yeah, so, down where we live, they've got them in some of the villas, and, they really don't look good, because they've got them across the street, because they're like little villages, and, but the people who use them like, because it's a lot of the older people live in that part of it.
You still have to walk to your car.
Yeah,
Yes, we, if we could move to the budget, so that would get us,
yeah, because it's probably about time for kickoff, isn't it?
it's fast.
I'm taking it. Nobody tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
Overall, the budget is, was built with the same maintenance fees, just Ben, and thank you, Ben, for all the correspondence that you send to the owners. We really appreciate that. If it wasn't for Ben, y'all wouldn't get all these mailings and information you get. But we can operate with the same income. It looks like it's a good, good, healthy budget, for what we need to do. We will need money for extra projects, of course, we need to do tennis courts. Hopefully the gazebo repair that we're talking about, we can work within our parameters to fix. I guess we could just open the budget up for questions about any particular part of it rather than going down it line item for line item. Because like one thing that's been removed, and I want to be sure y'all are aware, is that in 2022, the association was paying me $6,000 a year to manage. 2022, I have not drawn that, and I'm not drawing it. And it's out of the budget in 2023. I'm happy to work on the board and do what I've always done here. This is 29 of these we've had, and I've made 28 of them. And I think that's right. I'm happy to do anything I'm doing, but we're gonna move all of our office, the rest of our office correspondence is gonna go to Thurman Campbell Group, who's paying our bills right now. Right at the present time, I'm getting checks and making deposits. I'm getting hard mail, scanning it, sending it to them for payment. I'm still handling a lot of mail, even though some of it's auto paid, they still want me to scan the bills and all. So we're gonna send everything to their office. That's gonna take me out of the picture. Our website has a provision on it that we can make payments online direct, that needs to be pursued, and we'd like to get into effect by January 1. I'd like for everything, we made the first quarter payment next year, I'd like you to send it to Clark. We'll do that, correspond with you, of course, with instructions on that later. But the goal is me to keep doing anything y'all need me to do, but keep me out of the office more. That's what I'm after. I'm doing more office work now than I did normal work down here, so it's just I just don't, it's just better, it'll work better for me to.
Well, that's the main reason we're not having to go up on maintenance fees is any
Coming out of
increase in
Rusty's
expenses. Rusty didn't take any pay this year, and that's $6,000 that we are not spending. So I think we all owe him a great gratitude for that. Time he puts in for free.
we have a great board, everybody's agreeably to get along with. I don't think we've ever had been at odds or whatever. There's no reason for any, for me to continue like what I was doing. And, we've got options as far as keeping our bills paid and getting our money in the bank. So we just need to finish the process. When we moved this office over here, it was just been a little stagnant. In the meantime, the rest of the stuff just hasn't been done yet. We're gonna try to push that to end up that part this year, go in any direction, start next year.
And we can set up, maintenance fee payments on our website, but the CPA at Thurman County, they've got to give us some time to help set that up, because it's got to be a third party, that they would set up that ties to our website. And, I don't know how to do it, but I think the CPA could do it if we could just get her to give us a half a day of time to set that up. We'd be able to do that.
Well, could you put nobody can get in there except y'all now, the room. Could you just put up a little letter thing in there where they could just put it in an envelope and put it in there?
You can, but electronically is what we're trying to do.
Oh, okay, okay, I thought you were just
No,
gonna,
where you just pay electronically from your checking account.
yeah, that's a better idea.
Straight to the association's checking account.
If you would prefer to mail a check, we would just mail it to Thurman Campbell. Of course, y'all just drop one off.
Yeah,
So,
everybody here just.
if I get
drops them off.
some, I will for who knows how long. Just, once a month or every couple of weeks, if there's much there, I'll just put it in an envelope and send it to Clarkson.
Right.
Because it'll take a little while to get all that changed over. But most everybody, I think, will love it. The way the mail system is this day and time, I love being able to go in and just do it and know it's done right then, instead of course, y'all watch sometimes the check may sit in the office for a couple of weeks before it gets deposited. I mean, we used to deposit 4 times a month when normal was here. I probably deposit 3 times a month on the quarter that the income's coming in. And then when some come in late, it may sit there for longer.
Right.
And I got some.
You don't have nothing else to do
I
except
got
walk
some-
around.
I got some in September that had been mailed in June. There's been numerous payments been lost. They've been missing this year due to mail. And sometimes they get here eventually, sometimes they don't.
Uh-huh.
Did y'all put on the window where I'm supposed to mail it? Because that's changed now, no. Or to the accountants. But if I could get that information, I'd be happy to
Yeah.
change.
Sure, well, as soon as we get things, we let
Yeah,
everybody know.
we'll send out a mass email to everybody telling you when to change. And
So for now, you still want it to Buchanan Resort?
For the remainder of this year, but when Q1 bills go out, there's gonna be a big in there mail to here, send to here. If there's not a portal to pay online, it'll just be a mailing address. And then if they come here, I have April in-house once a month at least. I mean, so when she's in the house, she can pick up what mail is laying here that's associations, take it back to Clarksville office with her. Or I'll send it if she's not gonna be here. But she's here she's probably here 15 times a year in my office working for me. And, so it wouldn't be too big a deal to get stuff to Clarksville for them. But right now, my phone's, you can't believe I had to get a new phone. Because I've scanned and I save everything. I'm saving all these email correspondence and stuff, just in case we gotta dig something up later. So I'm getting tickled to get rid of the scanning stuff.
You need somebody to just walk around with the phone for you, don't you?
Well, it's just, it's quick, but it's just.
Yeah, it is.
It just piles up. But I think they're doing a good job for us. I sent in deposits yesterday and within, I think it was 8 minutes, she responded, written checks and posted deposits in about 8 minutes, and me emailing her about 5 emails. She did it all just boom, just like that. So we get good, and that's a girl named Megan that's actually doing that work. so y'all know, if you ever have to speak with anybody, Megan and April, and Megan's in the office and April's never in the office. She's on the road all the time. So. Any specific questions on the budget? If there's nothing jumping out, there is one thing for sure we need to talk about is salaries, or paying Justin. That budget's got a $25 a week raise next year figured in for Jeff beginning in April 1. We don't do that until April 1 because he works limited hours in the winter. So we don't give him his raise until he goes back pretty well full board in April. And then in Justin's case, what was his, y'all help me?
11, I think it was 11.
He was $11 million, is that right? We proposed a raise for Justin, and his would go into effect in January 1. In that case, Justin right now is making $11 an hour working for the association. And again, we gave him a pretty good raise last year. I think it was $1.50. And I think I figured into this budget.
I had it written down too, but anyway.
Do they get paid yearly, like through the winter too?
He gets paid, yeah, Justin's told strictly hourly. Jeff is salary.
So he gets it,
He
yeah,
gets it
regardless.
Yeah, he's 52 a week on salary.
That's good.
And,
It was 25 per week for Jeff and 11 per hour for Justin.
11 more.
well, we got currently paying Justin 11 and we had budgeted and.
Oh, this was like.
Yeah, that was
Gotcha,
right,
last year.
right.
I didn't write down the total raise and how much it was being or not. I just got it.
It's in the minutes
In
of
those minutes, I had my phone going somewhere.
the board, meeting minutes.
Sorry about that. May not know.
That's on there, I didn't see it.
I'm over here.
Ben's gonna go and verify that.
I would think.
If,
It's not in the minutes. There's some overlooking it. It sounds right, but it's.
space. Ben will be back. If y'all want to, is there anything else in the budget you want to talk about while we're waiting for him to verify it? I think what we had in our budget was, I believe, was $12 is the figure. We had talked about 12.50 or 12. We didn't want to go
I think we went from 11.25 to 12, is it?
from 11. Yeah. We didn't want to go too strong because you got to kind of follow suit from year to year. But by the same token, that's a bargain for him. It really is. I've got high school kids that after they come back a year or so, they're either making money in that range too. So you can't get them to work, don't pay them that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But I couldn't say what it was. I think it's in there, but I think we went from 11 to 12, I think.
It was. Well, what we need is a motion to approve the raises. For one thing, we have to have that, and we're gonna need a motion to approve the budget if there's no
So there's no changes in the
Right.
quarterly fees, I think?
There's no changes
I
in
didn't see
fees. Yeah, but it was 12.
I'm 100% sure.
This is based, we'll research this more, but what we proposed was $29 a week for Jeff, and we raised Justin $1 an hour to $12 an hour, and his raise would begin January 1, Jeff's would begin April 1.
So Justin's is about 10% or 9. What is the percentage? Do you know what?
On Jeff's,
So you got different hourly.
yeah, Jeff's currently,
Going from 18 to 18.
I just read it right here, it's $8.50, and we go to $8.75 a week. So it's not really percentage wise, it's not comparable, it's mostly kind of a cost of living type of raise and stuff. And I'm going to tell you, Jeff's attitude when I go to him in the fall and after we meet and whenever we approve, always an approved raise, he's very realizes that he, I think he wouldn't be shocked if one year he didn't get a raise. I mean, because he feels like he's well compensated. People are extremely nice during the Christmas time. Y'all don't know how far that goes with those guys. That's a big deal. It's you know, he's just very happy.
He thinks he's happy.
I think he is.
You got it. I remember him saying, it's the best job I've ever had.
When he lives close, he don't have, you don't pay $10 a gallon for gas.
Yeah, well, love him or not, he's Jeff and we love him.
Yeah. Well, he's so polite to everybody, Dory, at least, at least the ladies, you know. I don't know.
If we could get a motion to approve those raises,
I so moved.
okay?
I'll second.
Second by Daniel. Ms. Morgan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Any more budget discussions? Of course, if you got any later, feel free to ask any of us. We'll get an answer for you. If not, we might opt to talk about this annual meeting dates next year. October 14th is second Saturday, and I always say second or third Saturday in October. Usually we try to do it early in the month if we can, because some people got plans to go places in the fall. I wish it was the first week every year. You know, it would be great, but the 14th is the earliest that it's supposed to be had. Is that a good date? That would put y'all membership meeting on the Labor Day weekend like normal, on September 2nd. Unless somebody wants us to change that, I guess that's what we'll go with. Okay. All we like is a motion to adjourn.
Let me ask one quick question.
Did we approve the budget?
Yeah, we need,
Oh, yeah.
need to, have a motion to approve the budget.
Yeah, we did, I'm sorry.
I so moved.
Okay, is there a second? Second by Dan. Ms. Mohead first.
Back to the membership committee meeting, is that Labor Day weekend? Because that's when we meet.
Yeah, it is.
We moved it from Sunday to, it was Sunday afternoon to Sunday morning, or Saturday morning.
You moved it from Saturday to Sunday this year.
Last year it was on Sunday.
Before we adjourn, ask questions online.
Okay.
Still got to vote on the budget.
Last year it was on.
No one's-
Sunday at 5.
Yeah, your daughter.
I got it. On the budget.
Yeah.
They made a motion.
Motion and second. I never voted on it.
Sunday, everybody wanted to be on.
Yeah,
There's just a couple of questions from people.
That's right, we didn't vote on that.
Wait a minute then, let them vote on the
I think
budget.
Okay.
Do we need to do that for these pertaining to anything we're doing here?
No, not really, but go ahead.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to approve the 2023 budget. All in favor, by Ms. Mohead and Dan second. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? None.
Amen.
What questions have we got there, Dennis?
Okay, for those that, are tuning in online, we appreciate them doing that. We've got, 3 people, tuning in here. Marilyn, Roulette, in G1 and G3, she asked about how to get on the Remind app. Marilyn, I will send you information on that after our meeting today. And she also requested having pickleball lines put on the tennis courts, which we've discussed during our meeting, that we probably do that. Let's see. And then Marilyn also was asking whether Justin would ultimately be Jeff's replacement. We talked about that. We have tried to increase. She's asking whether his salary is being increased enough to make him be able to move into that level, and that is what we're planning on doing over the next few years. Donna Hastings had a couple of questions. Can you explain how often the exterminator is here? If this has already been discussed, please skip this question. I don't believe we discussed that. That was one of the things in the building representative meeting, that there was a suggestion that they leave a card when they spray the units so that we know they've been there. And
Spray quarterly, right?
Yeah,
they spray
we
quarterly.
put it
So
on,
that's what
yeah, they're usually in the early in the month.
have them leave a card.
They did. They
They
sprayed
let us
quarterly and they
cards
left
on
the
the
card.
I got a
We're
card.
through.
Yeah.
Oh, they were this time? Unless you were there, we were there
Cards
when
on
they
both
came.
my counters.
Oh,
So,
good.
I didn't know what they did, I was just like, I guess I did.
That's great.
When they came to our meeting.
They've done the termite for the year too, so we're all good on extermination still first quarter.
And Donna just wanted to thank us for the balance sheet and the other information. And Marilyn said she loves Jeff, and that's about the comments we got from those online.
I'd like to comment my appreciation for the board and for Rusty, and
Absolutely.
thank you now for not taking money.
Well, we appreciate y'all, we really do. It's a good community, there's not, I don't see.
The weekends are more fun though.
Pretty
Be
good.
sure to turn the water off if you're gonna leave.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a good reminder.
Yes, good.
Hey, little red X in the septic system over the winter wouldn't hurt anything either.
Also, in the bathrooms, we had this the other day. You know the little valve down there that turns stuff on and off to that particular one?
Right.
Well, I had a little,
Turn the water off.
I put stuff in little baskets and put them in there, little plastic baskets. And one of, it had filled up, it was leaking. The valve was leaking. Actually, thank goodness it was the cold water, not the hot water. And that thing had filled up and run over, and it was running. And I thought, oh my goodness, we have had so much water problems. It's just, so just put your under there, a jar or something, just in case it goes.
A quick question, if I'm doing improvements in my condo, does that go to the board for approval?
Interior doesn't matter unless it was, of course, structural, but.
Our downstairs porch was, screened in and kind of semi-closed in when the Smiths were there.
Right.
But I'm trying to find like a more permanent solution. It leaks when it rains, the way the glass is. So I was,
Right.
trying to.
If it's exterior.
Are you, if it's already approved for glass or screen on the porch.
That's all.
So,
Yeah.
and then as far as sealing it, I don't know, what, of course, have you got a combination of both on yours? screens in some
You can get glass, I didn't think you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, we've got a couple of glass panels in the center, right where the
Like
sliding
a
door
heavy
is.
glass
They
panel.
stay dirty all the time.
They can screw on.
Oh, yeah.
You can screw on or take them off, but
Yeah.
when it leaks on the floor.
This is the
Right.
dustiest place I've
They just,
ever
if,
lived.
if you have any screen areas, you know, there has to be some way for that water to get out. And so they're,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and all, and,
Oh, I got you.
so you just have to be cautious about creating a dam in there that might cause you problems you didn't expect, you know, the drainage is.
Yeah, I think I'm going on glass down there.
But over the years, leaking plumbing has been the biggest disasters we've dealt with here. And so I highly recommend that if anybody's gonna be gone more than 3 or 4 days, cut your main water valve off.
And if you're gonna be there, this happened to us, I live there all the time now. And the small vanity, thank you Lord that it's crammed full of towels, because there's a pinhole in one of the little pipes. And if all those towels hadn't soaked up all that water, it'd have been a big mess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The majority of the problems we had, like Clinton and Tammy just had that not long ago in their unit, where the unit above them had a leak. And most of the damage goes to the one below,
Oh, yeah.
gets all the water.
So like
And
one
so the
spot.
plumbing leaks are a real problem. And you never know when one's gonna happen, especially if you're going to not be here for a month or something, or over any long period of time. Be sure to cut your main water line off, and of course, cut your hot water heater off
those,
first.
Don't forget to do that.
yeah, those supply line areas y'all are talking about though is a place that you really ought to just look at as a owner. Just check people don't look there. I can remember even back in your unit, back when Jimmy and them were there, that commode, we had to put a pan underneath in Austin's bathroom for a day or two because we had a commode leak in there and just luckily caught that before they spotted it before it got into a problem. Yours was an ice maker line, but everybody keep water off.
We had the ceiling fall through from upstairs.
Right.
When we were gone,
Yeah,
okay.
keep it in the refrigerator. Well, they didn't turn it off or what? It leaked straight down, like my refrigerator is right under there, so this all came out of my laundry room, my kitchen.
Like you just started seeing water in the sheet rock.
Yeah, well, I was gone, Jeff just talking, he came in, he was coming to look at their place, they got back to boil water. He was really, I didn't get it mine. When I got there, yeah, it was coming out of the cabinets.
What they tell me, I called him first and he was like, do not ever fail to call me. If it is a middle of the night, there is a lot of these, anywhere you go, you call me.
Yeah.
Well,
We had to replace those.
motion to adjourn.
Any question?
Okay.
Why don't we have just off the wall, sometime in the middle of the summer, why don't we have a potluck? And then if anybody wants to get together and talk about stuff they can, and everybody just bring, like on a Saturday or.
We used to do that a long time ago.
Oh, did you?
Motion to adjourn.
It would be nice to do, we might even have it outside up here,
Right.
on a beautiful
We've
day.
got so many new people,
Yeah,
but
that's-
I don't know anybody.
I don't know anybody anymore either.
Bring it back.
That would be excellent.
We do have a lot of new people here, it's.
The worst thing.
Change a lot. Last couple of years. Right. I think,
The Facebook, see on Facebook, it was going to somebody. I don't think you're here. Yeah, but I'm on there.